July 26. The school holidays begins today, although I am going back to school for those festivals, so I will have some work at Tartarus before then, as I spend the day hanging out with Bebe. He talks about the umiyushi bowls are truly one of a kind, so ushi. The meat mixes well with the rice, with the combination brings out the flavor, which gets him wanting to know what my favorite is. I think on it and I respond with the curry. He calls it an excellent choice, but for him, the okizuki is the best, calling it simple but a Japanese staple. And with that nice dine out and talk, we go our separate ways. We've arrived at Tartarus. Aigis comes up to me and tells me that she'll be joining us from today onwards. She has been equipped with several combat functions as well as a persona. That's what she'll say for now. However, I ask if she can transform. While she isn't equipped to do that as of yet, she is willing to undergo modifications if I so desire. But to be honest, the old gear mode is pretty much a transformation, if you think about it. Besides that, Elizabeth wants to talk to me. Apparently strange doors have appeared around. She doesn't know where the doors go, but she's curious, thinking I might find them helpful. So I can safely say that she has piqued my curiosity, as me, Aigis, Kirijo, and Takaba head into Tartarus.
Oh hey, looks like you're the only guy on the team tonight.
I see. So this is what you would call a harem, correct? According to my data, every single man in the world fantasizes of having one.
Wait, is that what you're angling for?
Well, ulterior motives aside, I've no problems. After all, this team is strategically sound.
I'm not going to talk about their comments and just get right into the bosses. The first boss is the Okolactric Sand. It isn't too tough, its weakness is ice and deals fire damage, so it's got its fair share of additional turns, but nothing I can't handle. They were a tad bit sturdy, however, so it was just a battle of endurance, but eventually they fall like every other shadow has previously by a standard attack from Kirijo.
Good. That's a win for the team! Good job, everyone!
As we continued, Yamagishi sensed something on the 80th floor, and when we explored, it was a massive door with a weird pattern. I have a feeling that this is the door that Elizabeth was talking about as we take a look inside. It's rather creepy looking. Compared to the regular Tartarus, very red, and at the end of the corridor there is a shadow, which we take on. The battle was against what is usually be a strong enemy, so it wasn't anything too impossible. A Fyoji here and a freeze there, and eventually it went down. With the shadow gone, we are able to grab up the loot that has been left. Yamagishi notes of the item's rarity, as she wants us to come back after the door scanned the floor. As the Seeds members are talking, Elizabeth gets my attention, naming that door a Menard door, asking if the enemy I took on was difficult. I note that it was actually quite easy. She's happy to hear, but notes that she sensed something like the Menard door on the 91st floor, calling it a Menard passage. She would like for me to investigate it, giving me the request to have a look. I note that as we continue onwards. The next boss punished me for my arrogance. I got team wiped by a physical attack, and now that I knew what was going on, I buffed and debuffed them, braced for impact, and took it like a champ. Kirijo and Takaba weren't as lucky, but it all worked out in the end, as Aigis, while in all gear mode, took them down.
All enemies defeated! Good work out there!
The next floor had another two gatekeepers. They were both immune to specific affinities. The controlling partner was physical, except for Pierce. The dependent partner was weak to Pierce, while immune to elemental damage. It wasn't too hard. I did take a few downs, but they didn't really pose any physical challenge, just a challenge on my willingness to continue, as they like to heal a lot. But eventually the healing wasn't as fast as our damage, as Aigis Fyoji did the trick.
Direct hit on a weakness! Amazing, Aigis! Releasing all limiters! Yes! Taking no prisoners! Weapons free! All enemies defeated! Good work out there!
With them defeated, we were able to access the Menard Passage. The bosses here were extremely strong. The first one killed me in one shot, but I just noted of reducing his attack, and the boss was easy from there. The second battle, however, was a tough one, with barriers erecting to reflect damage and my allies being weak to at least one of their affinities. But with enough luck and not wasting Fiergies in the last fight, I was able to overwhelm one shadow, which slowly led to my victory. With that done and dusted, there was a chest at the end of it. It wasn't locked, so I simply opened it and got the Temperance Arcana and the ability to hold an additional Major Arcana. So it was definitely worth this trip, as I reported it to Elizabeth and spent a good while fusing personas, and then finished up for the day. I hope the track adventure isn't too boring, but I'll have to find out tomorrow.